Hey everyone, and welcome to my review for the first episode of Cour 4 of Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War. We are back, which is wild. I'm still just kind of shocked that I'm here and watching week to week with everyone else that's just released like an hour ago, which is insane. I'm so used to it being like, oh yeah, these episodes came out 3 years ago, or like in the case when I was first watching the original series, it was like, yeah, this episode came out like 2008. It's like, oh. um yeah, yeah, it's wild that we're here, but this was very cool to see. I know some of you guys got to see this in theaters, which is, I imagine some of the shots were pretty awesome, because one of the things I love about this episode, and that I love about Thousand Year Blood War in general, is how it kind of visually makes things feel huge. The scale of it, they really capture well. One of the opening shots early on in this episode is just you're kind of flying through Varvelt. You're seeing the different locations that battles are happening. Like you go past Gerard as he's kaijuing around, and you see the visor real quick, which I can't wait to see what additions we give to the visor, because they're all masked up, they're all ready to fight, which we saw at the end of the last Cour. So I'm hoping they're going to get a whole extra fight, it seems, against Gerard, which they could use. I've always been very open about the visored feeling underutilized. Yeah, so that's exciting, and that shot was so cool. I loved even you went by Baz. Like, you see Baz's body, and I'm like, that's just a reminder of like what Haschwalth has done, you know? So for the most part, this episode sticks pretty close to the manga. I just reread a lot of these chapters last night to freshen myself up for this, and it pretty much goes from the moment Ichigo and the others leave Uryu to deal with Haschwalth. So naturally you have them going up the stairs and confronting the golems, which Chad and Ganju are going to deal with just like they do in the manga, so that's all pretty much the same. There were a few extra, like, I feel like the golems were built up a little more visually as a threat to begin with, which I thought was cool. They felt a little more scary, I felt, than in the manga. I don't know if we're going to expand on that fight. They do show the golems and Chad in the opening, so I'm kind of hoping we get a little bit more from that. I just wish we got more from Chad. The manga, this was kind of all we got from them, so I'm hoping we expand on that. Yeah, speaking of the opening, I like the opening a lot, the new opening. The song wasn't one of my favorites probably ever, but the ending was also very good. It was a bit more emotional, as it should be. I appreciated it, and both of them I thought were solid. I don't think the opening was as striking as, say, the visuals of the first opening for Thousand Year Blood War with all the purples, and it wasn't quite as, what's a good word, perplexing as seeing Asnot on a skateboard on the second opening, but it was solid. It was a good opening. Part of me would have loved if they just used the song from the very beginning of Bleach, and that opening would have kind of, or like a remixed, emotional, energized version of it, but it probably wouldn't fit the tone, and they probably wanted to do something new. Fair enough. But yeah, so this episode pretty much, you set up a lot of the Ichigo heading towards Yuabaha, and then we get Uryu versus Haschwalth, which is where the biggest changes happen. Because in the manga, as I've talked about before, we never see Uryu's Volsterndish. So we see him use it against Haschwalth. They have a lot more action, because in the manga their fight is very, it's very quick, and it's more conversational than about the action. And I loved the expansion of it. I thought it was cool to see. It gives us an opportunity to see more of Haschwalth using the Almighty, and he's like predicting where the darts are gonna try to hit him, and he's swinging around his sword, and it's got the goop. Like, I like a lot of those changes. I thought, and the visuals too were really cool in that fight. I loved him bouncing around, and there's a moment where he like throws his sword at Uryu and then grabs onto it and chokes him. I thought that was really cool. And they end up on this walkway, and they're seeing like the bottom of Varvelt, and there's this rift opening up, and that is something that's definitely they're adding to for the anime, because they obviously want to make it more visually appealing, and it's clarifying. I mean, it was clear in the manga what was happening, but it's giving more of a visual clarity to like what Yuabaha's plans are and how broad it's gonna be, and I really enjoyed that. It's these huge rifts between dimensions as he's trying to destroy the three worlds and replace them with a new world. But it was cool seeing like Jinta and Uryu and my boy Tessai all seeing it happening. You know, they're knocking away this like weird looking hollow, and then they see that, and I thought it was nice to. It's a nice way to convey the threat that we're going to be dealing with in these final episodes, and that all three worlds are going to have to be dealing with. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a cool addition to everything, and to put it in with Uryu and Haschwalt's extra fighting, it was a good idea. It added a lot to that scene, and we'll hopefully continue to see more of that fight and how it's going to be changing, but so far I really like the additions for that fight. I liked that fight in the manga. It was one of the ones where I could see putting some extra scenes and some extra action just, to make it more exciting. So I'm sure it'll end up in a similar place as it does, but for now I'm really liking the expansion of it. And then we get the second half of the episode is pretty much focused on Yoruichi and Asken Naklavar, and that is pretty much shot for shot almost quite like the manga. Like, they stick very true to the manga, for better or worse. When I first talked about those chapters, I got so many texts from my friend with screenshots of people that were very angry at me because I wasn't huge on the way Yoruichi was handled, in how essentially I'm still not the biggest fan of it, but I've accepted it's just what it is. It is what it is. It's the choice that Kubo made, and so I'm not angry that it stayed the same. I didn't expect them to change something like that, but the method of Urahara kind of, I see it as kind of taking away her character's agency, since she didn't want to become that form, and then he kind of forced her to be. But it is a good way to show Urahara's methods, that he's willing to do whatever, and other people's feelings be damned, he's doing what's best for the Soul Society. So I appreciate that aspect of it. It's still handled the same way, but I've accepted it is what it is, and it's very true to the manga. As far as the fight itself, however we got there, they do a great job of showing Yoruichi's power, her speed, the ferocity of her attacks, the stuff that was really cool. I like the fact that she's, that the character that was a cat leans into the animalistic side in her big final fight. So that's really cool. And it's handled really well. And there's a few cool extra moments of just seeing how much she's wrecking Naklavar, which is really satisfying. Naklavar's still great. He's handled perfectly compared to the manga, and it's all handled really well, and it's a lot like the chapters. Yeah, and we end on Naklavar using his Volstran dish, and he's got the his wings and the big death ball deluxe. I'm curious, with the changes that they've done so far, what the other changes are going to be throughout this core, because so far in this episode it was mostly expanding a fight and a couple of other little extra moments to give it more scale. And I liked Yuabaha's dream sequence being used as kind of a way to show that he's watching everything, and that everything that's happening he's already foreseen. They showed all these images within his eyes and his goop, and I thought that was a nice little addition. And I love the way in the beginning he's seeing all that, and then the music cuts off when he's like, what a beautiful dream, and it's like, oh, it give me chills. So I assume the next episode is going to continue this fight, and there's some really cool stuff coming up that I'm excited to see animated, and I'd be very happy if they expanded on certain parts of the upcoming fights we get. So very excited, very good episode. And people said that there's a lot that's going to be expanded in the anime, like anime only content, and we got a decent amount in here, but I'm glad they're also staying true to the manga as well, in a lot of cases. And yeah, like shot for shot, the Yoruichi battle was pretty much what we got in the manga. There was a lot of, a lot of booty shots as well. I was cracking up at the butt shot with the title on it, because that's from a chapter that's straight out of the manga, you know, like that's like, I'm like, wow, they made sure they kept that where it's just the title God of Thunder or whatever, like honor booty cheek, like that's it's true to what it was. It's a lot of ass shots of Yorichi in this episode, and I'm sure a lot of people are very excited by that. Um, yeah, she was badass. She was cool. I'm still not, huge on that story point, but I get it for Urahara's sake. I just wish Yorichi got handled a little differently, but that's just personal preference. I totally get it. Is what it is. Yeah, as far as the episode itself, it was great. It was a great adaptation. The new stuff was great, and the animation's still fantastic. I would have loved to have seen this on the big screen along with the next two episodes. I'm sure it looked beautiful in the theater. Yeah, it was great, and I'm looking forward to what's next because we got some really cool stuff coming up that I am so excited to see animated. Like, so excited. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next week. If you want to see my reaction to this episode, it is on the Patreon, and that's what I'm going to be doing every week. Is I'm going to watch the episode on Patreon and react to it, and then do a review here on YouTube to give my real thoughts. So, yeah, it was good. It was good. It was a solid start to what looks to be a great batch of final episodes for the 1,000-Year Blood War. So that'll do it. I'll see you guys next week. Let me know what you thought of the episode down below. I'd love to see your comments, and I feel comfortable in a situation like this to actually read the comments because I've read the manga. I'm not that scared of being spoiled about discussions about this particular set of episodes. Just don't post any intentional spoilers down there, please. I don't want to see like, hey, here's a spoiler for that filler arc you haven't watched yet. Like, don't do that, but talk about this episode below, and I'd love to see your guys' thoughts on it. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great start. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.